Oh, yeah, yeah. For sure. Yeah, Sergeant Pepper, you must have missed it. We did a whole bunch of shaders for the background of Ghosty. Right? So this one we did for New Year's. But we actually have a bunch over in a folder. So now we got to pick one. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So city clouds, clouds. Right, we're going to pick one of the ones we made. DVD's not bad. Ooh, Night Drive is super good. Oh, I really like Night Drive. We're going to do it. Oh, okay. Yeah, this one's nice. The fireworks one got merged in. I'm thinking about just publishing. Yeah, publishing what I got and then letting, like, I'll want to record some images for it, like some videos, and then post those up to the GitHub repo. And then let, like, the maintainer of, like, the official repo just pick and choose. But, okay, we'll call this one good for now. We can always switch up later. Let's close a few of these. Let's get Waltr going. Different Waltr. I think I need 4 of them open, but we'll find out. So this one will be the API. It's just tea. Some Earl Grey. Cold tea. I might consider getting one of those like warming cups or whatever, and then just do that. All right, where it's got like a base that's like powered, and then it just keeps the tea warm that way. I could do that maybe. Yeah, I think Ember's the main brand, right? For SMS and email. If you want SMS, there's basically Twilio, and then I'm sure there's some other companies. Oh, I don't know about that one config. Text Magic? Maybe. I mean, for email, the big thing to worry about is deliverability. Twilio maintains some pretty damn good deliverability metrics because you have to actually like verify your business to get like the production email delivery. So they like cut out and eliminate a lot of the spam stuff. I don't do SMS verification. No, sorry, 2-bit. You're wrong there. I'm doing app verification, right? Like like the multi-factor apps. So, like how it like counts down the timer. That is not SMS. No, that's fine. They tend to be a lot like, pretty similar. But nah, like SMS is the worst form of multi-factor auth. Really bad idea. For email, I'll probably either use Twilio or Postmark. Postmark prides themselves on the speed of delivery. Yeah, Twilio's nice because they do both, right? They do SMS and email. I would say, though, like, just don't do SMS based multi factor. It's really bad. Like, it's easy enough to spoof. And then someone else can intercept the messages. Magic Link is fine. Yeah, that's just email. That's how we do our main like form of login. Uh, CFG, like the way of like spoofing the SMS. Easy enough for a hacker that cares. Right? Like it's easy enough to wire up what is it, the Dolphin or whatever, right? And steal someone's like remote entry like Mercedes. You know? So the big thing is you don't want to like you don't care about intercepting it. You just care about getting it delivered to you and the other person. So it's not even necessarily like a man in the middle. You're just like adding yourself as another endpoint. And again, I'm not saying it's like easy, but easy enough for someone who's trying to get your shit. Now, granted, you know what's even easier? Pretending to be Microsoft tech support or some bullshit, right? Phishing is definitely the easiest. Hey, how you doing, Jason? Thanks for the Prime sub, dude. Carding? I'm not familiar with carding. But yeah, using a dolphin to sniff like NFC stuff, like all sorts of stuff like that. There are people out there doing it. It does, right, Sergeant Pepper? Yeah, I love it. I'm a big fan, actually. Yeah, it's called Night Drive. Oh, there you go. CFG. Yeah, for sure. I don't know, Fizzo. That sounds like a bad manager to me. But I don't know. Flipper, not dolphin. That's it. Yeah, yeah, Flipper. Honestly, is that so bad of a mistake to make? Calling the Flipper dolphin instead? Come on. Flipper was a dolphin, all right? All right, so we do that one. We need the front end running. Dashboard. Yeah, I don't know, Fizzo. Sounds really questionable. Right? Why are y'all tasked with doing your project manager's job? It just sounds weird to me. It could be that you're not describing it exactly as it's been presented. Because I do think flatter organization structures make sense. All right, so what you all might have seen right there is I copied and pasted this like MFA link. This is basically the magic link that would have ended up in someone's email. But we're just avoiding the email part right now for speed. I do heavily believe in the idea of pair programming, especially to like work through a tough issue. I really like that idea. And yes, some devs are just massively resistant to doing so. I work better alone. Yeah, but your knowledge transfer is a lot harder at that point too. So, you know, again, the way Fizzo phrased it, I think is more heavy-handed than that. You also skill issue better alone. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like you work yourself into a corner, you waste time doing things that you didn't need to, like, you know. Getting too hung up on the definition of pair programming doesn't make any sense to me. oftentimes only one person can drive and the other person chats, right? And is there to like ask questions and all that stuff. I'll go when it seems like good weather. We might be getting snow tomorrow, so I'll check it out. But I also have some stuff I got to do work-wise, so we'll see. See, I just don't know about that, Akashra. It's about a different perspective. Yeah, right? Like, you got one person concentrating on the driving, and every once in a while, the navigator can chime in and say, hey, you're going the wrong direction or something, or you got this turn coming up, right? Those are trunk coders, and those are different. No, so that sounds really terrible there, Fizzo. Is he a programmer? Okay. That sounds like major micromanagement, actually. He doesn't sound like a very good CEO. And now it makes a lot of sense why he wants you all to be your own like project managers of each other because he doesn't want to actually hire a project manager. Again, he sounds like a really bad CEO. Yeah. But as an example, at not this job, right? Because I'm not a dev at GitKraken, but at my previous dev job, I had a junior who would run into some hard stuff, right? Would maybe spend a day on a problem and not make as much progress as they would want, as well as anyone else, sure. We could hop on a call and debug why they're seeing what they're seeing and how we could maybe figure it out. And during that process, it's often only, well, hey, show me what you did, what you've tried. Let's talk it through. And then I'll ask, like, well, okay, let's look at the code. Can we log some values, right? There, and there, and let's see what we're getting. And you get to see what their debugging process is like in that, but they also get to understand like what my debugging process is like. So it's not to say that my way is better, but we did solve a bunch of issues through those kinds of sessions. And I think they learned something about how I go about finding the problems. Downsides to pairing, you get way more burned out because you're always on compared to the downtime you allow yourself when others aren't relying on you to focus at the same pace as each other. Yeah. Like, I don't think 100% pair programming ever works. But pair programming for, specific, like, chunks of time or for specific tasks, hugely valuable. So yeah, Pranav, that makes sense. But Jupyter notebooks are only for Python code. When does a junior stop being a junior? Lilsaf, there's no answer to that. When does a teenager stop being a teenager? Literally, when they don't no longer have the word teen in their age number. Technically, like, or more figuratively, some people never grow up past their teenage years. There you go, Kidos. Hold on, let me double check. Like to micromanage. Yeah, yeah. Sure, Fizzo, I get it. We don't necessarily want to rant all day about this, though, Fizzo. So I'm planning on just moving on now. Yes, you had a shitty CEO. End of story. Okay? And that's fine, but yeah. Start your own stream. I don't know, man. Pranav, then why does HR look for experienced devs, not matured devs? Because HR isn't qualified to evaluate the maturity of a dev. All they know is numbers. Exactly. Yeah, HR isn't doing any evaluation other than does it check the boxes we need. Exactly. And then, real quick, not everyone is ideal to be a CEO. Oftentimes, you're the guy who kicked off the company and was willing to put up the money slash risk or knows the high level view of the market area. That's just the way it is. Yeah. But at some point, recognizing that founder does not equal CEO is important. And that to be a good founder, you need to recognize when you should step out of the way of being CEO. Sure, Fizzo. Yep. It's keyword matching. That's all their job is. He could have just looked at their job description and probably found that. It's heavily inspired by some other graphics we've seen. A good CEO move? I don't know. I'm not sure config. I'm not qualified to evaluate that. Sure, whatever you say, Ippo. Yeah, exactly, Kitos, right? Like we're not qualified to evaluate it. The fact that he has a successful company, it would hint that he did something right. No such thing, Hippo. Based on your first comment, it does seem like you might just be trolling. So I don't know. I really do think you're taking some troll bait there, config. Just letting you know. Like, look at their first message. Jesus. Again, you guys are taking the troll bait. And you're giving really, really bad advice, too. Based on the context of someone asking that they are thinking about learning programming, yes, it was bad advice. Yeah, because you're already making an assumption about what language they should learn. Setting up a Python dev environment fucking sucks. Like, I would not recommend that to a beginner. I'm sorry. I just completely disagree. The steps to get to anything productive with a Python environment fucking sucks. I don't recommend Python as a first language to anybody. Yeah, free code camp. Boom, we're done. Yeah. We understand. Yep. It would help, Dr. Drat. I would say you don't need to master JavaScript to start learning TypeScript, though. I know, right? We're not going to get into language debates, Pranav, right? Take the hint that I'm getting fed up with it over here in Twitch stream, too. This isn't one of those kind of streams, man. If you want to be elitist about your languages, go for it. But not here. Exactly, Akasha. All right, so hold on. Format internal currency. I don't think that's the function we're looking for. I'm sorry, config. I just find it massively disruptive. If you want to take it to a Discord chat or something, go for it. But I'd rather not have those conversations here. It's not fun for me. I stream too much for that to be fun. It's just boring. It's tired. It happens every day on Twitch, and I have to police this channel in a way that I want to come back to it. Exactly. They were just looking for attention, config. That's it. Exactly. Yeah, it is nice of you. Aha. So this is part of our issue. It's fine, Pranav. We just get it too much. There are plenty of other streams where that shit's okay. This isn't one of them. I will point out that most of the streams that actually allow that stuff on a regular basis, they just don't last because the streamer burns out. Oh, I know. Don't worry. I'm doing what I do specifically to prevent that. But just think about it. If you've been here on Twitch watching programming streams for X amount of years, really consider how many have come and gone. Maybe Akasha. Yeah, Adam took a long break when he got hired by Google. That's because he didn't have time. I think Prime is lucky in that his chat moves so fast, he can just ignore the people that are less fun to talk to. And I should probably be better about ignoring the people that are less fun to talk to. But I like the social interaction of it. Why not ignore it and let it pass? Because I'm here because I enjoy the social aspect of it. If I wanted to ignore chat, I could just program off stream. It's hard to do so when one troll can derail all of chat and that's all they're ending up talking about, right? Did you see how it went off the rails just now? Just one troll, one person acknowledges them, and then everyone starts chiming in with their bad takes or jokes or whatever. It's easier to just get rid of the people that are annoying. And then I end up having a chat that I really like interacting with. Yep. So yeah, what I'm doing here that is wrong is we're casting that value and it's coming back as any, but we end up recasting it when we set it as a state value because we're doing account here, when instead this is going to be account with a balance. That's from VS Code Power Mode. Just saying, Fizzo, you probably should have been able to see use state here and make an informed decision. There you go, Kitos. Thank you. Ooh, do I only have balance ID on this page? That would be an issue. How many do you think that is, Mini Scruff? Like, he asked if I was using any framework at all. I know of two, Solid and React. And at that point, does the difference matter? Because it answers his question either way. Yeah, we don't set balance as state. So hold on. Why am I even bringing in balance service? Oh, because get balance accounts. Ah, right. Okay, so we need to bring in the balance for formatting reasons. But yeah, no worries, Fizzo. Thank you, Jens. I appreciate that. No, I'm definitely more of a jerk than I should be sometimes. Right? I do get annoyed more easily than most, probably. Something I gotta work on. I do think it's getting better, but probably not at the pace that people would like. But you know what? It's fine. We'll get there. All right, so yeah, we need to actually fetch this balance. Yeah, I know y'all are actually just here for the music. Ooh, I did. Yeah. Now you're no longer on mobile, so you can check. 1.1 million channel points. That is so crazy to me. Ryan's here for the beanie. This is a good beanie. Yeah, I need to get some new ones. Like, this one's getting dirty on the inside. Like, that is like a really gross shade of gray. And that's after washing it. That's after washing it. Like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. But I have had, like, oh yeah, look, when I fold it up higher, like, you can see the real difference in color. It's so gross. Ugh. Does the beanie come off during work hours? No, I typically only when I'm sleeping, basically. Yeah, All Them Witches is good. We used to listen to them a bunch, actually. Yeah, I need to add them back to the rotation. Good call. I'm sure Mr. Demon Wolf listens to great music too. But yeah, this Get Kraken hoodie is really like soft. Yeah, it's nice. I'm pumped on it. Ah, okay. All right. Let's do this fetch real quick. I think it's just get, right? Yeah. All right, so then this part can just be balance currency label and balance that suffixed. Yeah, and it can't be undefined. Sure. We'll just let it be empty string there. Should be fine. Ooh. Yeah, honestly, I think as a brand, we should really consider opening up like a Red Bull bubble or whatever store and letting people buy merch. Hold on. I'm going to send that as a message. Hold on. So yeah, Redbubble. What's the other company? Like Redbubble versus whatever. And what up, Code Drift? How you doing? US to EU would be pricey. So here's the thing. Like, hold on. Uh, Etsy. No. Yeah, yeah. People can just ask and I'll change it. I think we even have a channel point redeem for it. Etsy, TeePublic, Threadless. There's like a specific one I'm thinking of. It's the one Growthbook uses. Yeah, like a print on demand provider. Oh, so they're doing it through Shopify, but they're technically doing it through Shopify through something else. Hmm. And hey, thanks, Akizas. Appreciate that. Um, God, it's yeah, not Printlify. Yeah, hold on. Print on demand. Man, whatever company it is that I'm trying to think of has really bad SEO. From 3 years ago, I think it should be good. Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. The one I'm thinking of allows you to pick like the exact like manufacturer of the blank, right? So it's not just like blank t-shirt, it's like blank t-shirt by specific brand. And you can like pick which ones you actually want. Threadless I've heard of. Previous company I was at used Custom Ink. They were all right. Yeah, like an open cart setup. Dude, I've been like going to it on my personal laptop. I just don't want to get up and go to it. Hey, what up, Revisualize? Yeah, I'm from Seattle too. Do you go to Seattle JS? Oh, I don't have a command for Seattle JS. Damn. But yeah, if you're not aware, it's a really good community. They meet January 8th, so next week. It's always on the second Wednesday prior to the vid. Well, yeah, Seattle JS is like the only one like kind of like still kicking. Wasn't sure if you knew that they were still going, so I at least wanted to share that. But yeah, I remember going to like the React one, the Angular one, which I helped co-organize. I barely did anything. APIs and IPAs, like, dude, before COVID, oh, there were so many good meetups here in Seattle. The Go meetup was fantastic. Like, dude, yeah, there were some really good ones. But yeah, just in case you didn't know, Seattle JS is still going. I'd say anywhere between like 50 and 100 people, you know? Actually, hold on. Where is this one going to be at? Just the tap again? Okay. Yep, January 8th. So a week from yesterday, basically. It's going to be in like the old Belltown Billiards venue. That place is now known as Just the Tap, which I think is a really fun name. But yeah, we're sitting here trying to remember a print-on-demand provider. It's not Redbubble. It's... yeah, who knows? Maybe my brain will get it eventually. Same. Yeah, because I was fully remote, so I was using meetups. Like, especially before streaming, I was using meetups to, like, stay social. So yeah, I would go to, like, 4 a week. Did you ever go to Beers with Engineers? That one was the best. Oh, that one was so good. Because you'd get like all sorts of engineers, like electrical engineers and blah, like, you know, rocket engineers. Like, man, it was cool. God, that's gonna drive me crazy. You don't do beer? That's fine. You can always just go and hang out. But yeah, no worries. Yeah, this one next Wednesday is gonna be at a like a tap house. So, you know, if you just don't even like being around beer, touche, I get it. The place I'm thinking of, absolutely, yeah, they do single items. Like my growth book gear is all through it, according to Graham from Growth Book. Hold on. So Shopify print on demand. Maybe they have a list of providers, because this is driving me crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this used to be the main one, actually. We just let people vote and change it as they see fit. But okay, so we got our balances in there. We got the account ID. These are really the only values that we care about on this page right now, at least. Now, can we sort these? That actually works. Oh, we did something right. Yes. Used to be a corporate event space. That must have been after Belltown Billiards closed down. Because, yeah, it used to be a pool hall. But, yeah, it probably stopped being a pool hall. Okay, after that, yeah, probably around like, what, 2010 or something? Yeah, I don't remember. Long time ago, though. Yes, we should be capping that value. That's a great point. Hold on, let me go look at my type. Pretty sure we're tracking a value for our precision. We do it for usage billing precision, but really, maybe this should just be billing precision. Let me look at how we're doing our fixture data real quick. Yeah, we'll use the usage billing precision value. Oh, here's the thing. 2 fixed is also going to be off. Because we don't want to see like 25.00, right? Right. And yeah, it's getting in there as a 0, so then it's just where we pass this. Well, I mean, 2 fixed is going to do this, but then anytime that we get a value that ends up even, which we're probably not going to see in our test data, right? We're going to get .00. I think it's okay. Here's the problem. It's okay when we're dealing with currency. Like with dollars and cents, but not everything that is a balance is going to be dealing with money. Yeah, exactly. But that would be up to the user to set a value of 0, and then we're good, right? So then we might be okay. So yeah, let me just look everywhere else that we are doing that. That way we're still consistent within the app. And yeah, hold on. I actually want to replace that. We're doing like the or2 when it should actually just be or 0. Right? Because usage billing precision would evaluate to 0. Yeah, like the or. So yep, we'll just do that just to be sure. And then, yeah, I think this is fine. Ooh, yeah, the followage thing doesn't work. I should get rid of that command. As a mod, you should be able to click your name and find out, though. So you've been following since August 1st, 2021. Hey, thanks for the sub there, Mini Scruff. Appreciate you. All right, so here's one quick bug that will be easy to fix. In our table, that dot 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 field, that should be aligned to the end. I think it's probably the only column or like table that we're going to have that's going to even have that problem. I think we could just do it with text right. Yeah. Good enough? I think we just need a little bit of space. Right, and then we'll do a PR on the last one. Sure. Let me get more music going. And hold on. What was it? So your dog was looking at you like, Master of the Universe, for how long have you been watching this individual, and why are you pouring yourself a beverage not suitable for underage developers? Because it's a pretty common thing. Yeah, I think I like what we got on this page so far. If we go and view account details, then we get a crash on the account page because we haven't even touched the individual account page yet. So that's something we need to do. Okay, so let's think about our exact next steps. When viewing an individual account's details, we want to list out all their balances and everything, right? All their balances and quotas on one page. I think that part makes more sense to tackle first before we end up getting to like the transactions list or the oh, hold on. Let's get, oh geez. Yeah, my page titles need work. In the US, $ goes before, but that is configurable. So as an example, I could say whether it's a prefix or a suffix, and we can see like the preview. So that's up to you to decide how you want to format it within our UI. And hold on. Browsers have a function to help you format currency. Yep. Hey, whoa, Defy Us. Killing it. Did you get the Prime raid? Hell yeah. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, how goes your Odin thing? Yeah, you have anything you want to like show off? Any screenshots or, any of that? But yeah. Yeah, we did the shout outs. And how do you like Odin so far? Like you're doing this specifically to learn Odin, right? And yeah, welcome everyone from Primes and Defy Us All's streams. We are working on a software as a service that other software as a service could use. So the idea is if you are running a software as a service yourself, you're going to have the idea of a balance, maybe like credits for a GPT wrapper, or maybe quotas because you want to charge people more money based upon how much traffic they get per month or whatever, right? Monthly active users, all sorts of metrics. The main idea is that we can handle the tracking of that. We can handle notifying users when they get lower, right? Things like that. Yeah, you're not the first person to say that. I will be planning on shaving the mustache here soon. Not today, not tomorrow, but eventually. I also need a haircut. Okay, so you want to build a narrative based off the audiobook you've been writing. Oh. Okay. So it's a learning experience, but you're really enjoying it. And very data-driven, which you're liking. Okay. So, like, when you say data-driven, more like declarative, right? The rendering state is driven by just the values, right? Nice. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, instead of just like procedural, like move thing X amount, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I like that. And thank you for the follows, Coding Craftsman and Cat Ranger ES. Yeah, welcome. How y'all doing? And yeah, like, what are the output targets for Odin? No, not Odin Project, Odin Lang, which is a language. For the most part, I've heard a lot of people, well, at least a few people basically mention that Odin kind of tries to solve a lot of the same problems that, oh geez, what's the name of, God, now I'm spacing on the dude's name. The guy that made Braid. Right? I'm spacing on his name right now. He has his... Yeah. He has a language he's making called Jai. Jonathan Blow. Yes, exactly. So I've heard some people say that Odin actually tackles a lot of the same problems that Jai is trying to solve as well. Like in a very similar way. I know, exactly, right? I've heard other people say that Zig also tries to solve a lot of those same problems, which I find interesting. So I've never heard of these things. Mojo is another. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is very, very specifically for procedural like fire, smoke, and explosions, etc. Okay. Yeah, I feel like Autodesk used to have a thing called Smoke for like the same kind of stuff, right? I was always too poor to try Smoke. Sure, it's just faster. Cool. So Embergen for that stuff. I would guess some of these others are also like very specific like generator tools. Okay. Yep. Cool stuff. Okay. Here's something. So, yeah, real quick, if y'all haven't seen, Ghosty allows you to do shaders in the background of your terminal. This one is called Night Drive. So this is kind of fun. I went and found some stuff on Shader Toy, and we just ported them. Oh yeah, Mini Scruff. We have dozens, dozens. Here's the original library. And then I have my fork that I think I might have a link to somewhere. Well, hold on. We'll just do this. So basically, I forked their repo and created a bunch of them. And basically, yeah, the ones that I added are the ones that are like from 2 days ago. Yeah, the problem is that you have to like basically restart the entire thing, right? Like you at least have to do it as a new window due to the way that they're actually compiling like the OpenGL shaders into Metal for a Mac, as an example. Maybe it's easier on another platform like Linux, but I'm not sure. Yeah, no hot reload for the shaders yet. I'm sure they could do it eventually, but it's just not there at the moment. Yeah, because they basically have to be compiled, right? But it would be doable. Yeah, so Ghosty is the thing that allows you to do that. And it is a new terminal from Mitchell Hashimoto. To fix the terminal title remote execution vulnerability? I did not hear about that. I probably need to update. So I installed the DMG, but I should probably do it from Brew. Because then I could just get it like updated on the fly. Yeah, so I would guess that I haven't updated it since then, and I probably should. Hold on, wait, what? Okay. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, so we could just set title equals that. That's at least like a good placeholder. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, Mr. Elfman, you're probably thinking of Rust, where if you want to do unsafe things, you have to specifically use unsafe. But the problem is that the code itself is technically like memory safe. An operating system style vulnerability like that is not something Rust would catch anyway. Yeah. Right? Like in Rust, you could totally still write a SQL injection vulnerability in your server code. Rust would not detect that in any way. Pranav. Wait, which one am I using? You mean which shader am I using? Yeah, so in my repo, Ghosty Shaders, I'm using Night Drive at the moment. Oh, maybe I didn't push up Night Drive yet? Oh, I don't think I did. 1 second. Okay. So yeah, Pranav and anyone over on YouTube, if y'all want to get access to it, let me just grab the link for you. And skip this song that's just a bunch of noise. And there you go. You can fiddle with it and have at it. And yeah, we may want to. Yeah, we may want to like make a PR and get some of the others added to like the official shaders repo. Not the official one, but like the one that someone else is maintaining that's far more popular. Hold on. There we go. And yeah, no worries, Pranav. File loading to your from scratch text editor. There you go. And nothing is worth the risk. I mean, that's a pretty bold statement right there. Nothing is worth the risk? I don't know. Hold on, we do have an unban request. I am a bit ban heavy, so we'll double check it. Who here thinks it's sincere? Oh, maybe not. Did I have a mod denied already? But all right, so for people joining, yes, we are working on our product. We call it Waltr. And yeah, it's basically a way of managing balances and quotas. So yeah, we save our changes to that real quick. I pretty much do them like whenever I notice them because I am probably more ban heavy. Like I'm quick to ban people, so I should probably be quick to unban people. To upload an icon? Yeah, I would say that's post MVP. Yes, Fizzo, that has happened a few times. Yeah. No worries, Minnie. Yeah, totally fine. I think it's a great idea. I think it's less like important because it would only be here in the dashboard that you would need to see it because anyone consuming the API just cares about the number and they would be responsible for rendering the icon or whatever within their app or within their game or whatever. So it's less of an issue. We don't need to handle the formatting within their system. Right? So our API, would respond with the values just in case. But that's really just up to the consumer to decide how to render the number. Now hold on. Did our edit not work? Ooh, our edit did not work. All right, so we got a bug. Wait, we got a 401 for that? That doesn't seem right. No, we didn't get a 401 for that. All right, so hold on. Oh, wrong folder. Oh, and hold up. Here's another one of the shaders that we implemented. This one's dope. Oh, I get it, Akashra. I do make good background noise, but yeah, I hear you. Sometimes the discussions here are just too fun. Yeah, this one's good. We call that one, I think, Synthwave Sunset or something. It was either going to be that one or this one. I like this one too, though. But yeah, let's see what happens when we do this part. Click save. And we don't see any error of any kind. We did. We did. We don't technically have a license to show it, though. Like, I can show that code, at least. Hold on, did I close it? Oh, I closed it. Oops. But yeah, basically the author of that shader said, like, basically in his copyright notice, nobody's allowed to use this anywhere ever. So yeah, we can't even like publish the shader to GitHub or anything. Can't show it on stream. Yeah. We could probably ask him. Because he does have that in his copyright clause. Like, I should probably ask for his permission just automatically anyway. Because we did end up showing it on stream before I realized that we shouldn't. I believe technically we should be able to like show the shader toy page. It is. Yep. Yeah, he has a very, very strict like usage clause at the top of his shaders. And he might be like totally down with like the way we used it. I think it just sets him up to not have to worry about it in general, right? So I bet we could reach out. You like this UI? Thanks. Let's go dig into our API real quick, though, because there's something broken about updating our balance. And that's kind of a problem. Oh. Oh, cool. So, yeah, it does look like we are using a Zazzle store. So yeah, anyone that was looking for apparel, it does look like we have some branding stuff. Cool. I did not know that. We even have stickers and mugs and other fanciness. Cool. Yeah, I had no idea that existed. It's just getkraken.com/store. They don't have the hoodie, though. Did chat die? I mean, I see it right there. Commands don't make it through. Yeah. That's part of StreamParrot's config. You can decide like what you want to show or not. Oop. All right, so then let's see what we're getting right here. It's not from my merch site. It's just for getkraken.com. I don't have one myself yet. So this is just for GetKraken. For myself, I will be doing it eventually, especially as we get into the new year. I want to actually incorporate my stream So it's easier to do like tax write-offs for improving the stream with new equipment, etc. Like eventually write off a new gaming PC because I totally stream on my gaming channel, you know, that kind of thing. All right, so yeah, we let the API reboot, and let's try and edit this again. Oh, and you know what? Hold on. Oh. I closed the inspector. I gotcha. Yeah, I just started working for him like just earlier in 2024. So yeah. You still didn't send me that private message so that we can actually like chat though. Or if you did, maybe I messed up. Oh no, you did. I see it. Never mind. Sorry, stoner move. You did send it. I see it. Slacking. My bad. That's my fault. We still haven't like decided what scheduling tool we're gonna use as a company. Oh, you did send it. I see it. Yeah, I'm just slacking on giving you a link so we can schedule a chat. Are you asking, do I have one about questions? No. I couldn't remember if I did or not. Okay. We do replace the word question with an emote though. Yeah, I'm leaning towards cal.com. We're using a thing called Sessions, but Sessions is shutting down, which is a shame. But yeah, let me try and update this one more again. For what I'm doing right now, I don't think a workspace matters because all of like my front end, back end, like libraries and all that for Waltr are inside of a monorepo. So I don't benefit from a workspace if it's just one repo. I do believe I have an open source workspace set up that I'm slacking on. No, I don't think we have that anymore. Config. Yeah, what you're talking about, like the project view or whatever, I'm pretty sure that's gone. We do have an integration with like GitHub and other like task management tools though. So we do have like a Jira, Trello, GitHub issues, GitLab issues, I think Azure DevOps, whatever they call it. So we do support those. I just don't think Waltr's in a place where I need to use it. I don't know, config. I think that was before I even started working at the company. I'm not sure it was seeing much adoption. And realistically, it was in there because we used to be a brand called Axosoft. And Axosoft was specifically like a task management tool. But we basically don't work on Axosoft, like that product anymore. Like we basically stopped doing that to focus on what we actually need. Maybe. I don't know, config. Yeah, sorry. Well, here's the thing. I think they discontinued it a while ago, and you didn't even notice. That was probably the problem. Yeah, no worries, Jens. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Do I actively code in my GitKraken role? No, I'm a developer advocate. As a developer advocate, I do need to get like some code-based stuff set up in a way that I can demonstrate features and record videos about it. That's about the only coding that we end up doing, really. And yeah, that makes sense, config. I think the basic idea is that GitKraken, especially like the features we're focused on right now, are things that we don't think anyone else is doing well enough. Whereas our, a Trello clone or competitor, what are we going to do that's actually better than what Trello's already doing? And then how much time is it worth focusing on that rather than, delivering features that go towards our other main goals? I can't make that decision. I can't, I wasn't there for it. What languages do our devs use? Mainly Go and TypeScript. We recently refactored our entire GitKraken desktop codebase from Flow to TypeScript. And I plan on making a video for GitKraken and making a blog post and hopefully proposing some of the info about that for talks at various conferences and stuff, because I think it's an interesting story. But yeah, we refactored from Flow to TypeScript for GitKraken desktop. GitLens has always been TypeScript since we've owned it. I'm not sure when Eric Amodio, the creator of GitLens, like our CTO, I'm not sure when he refactored GitLens to TypeScript versus just raw JavaScript. Maybe it always was. The slight UI change? So it depends on what UI change you're talking about. For the most part, no, like changing to Flow was more like self-contained. Like it shouldn't have changed anything functionality-wise. It was one hell of a process, right? Like 500,000 lines of code in that diff, We use React. We don't use React inside of GitLens, but inside of GitKraken desktop, yes. But we were always using React on the project. I don't know about always. I think we adopted React around 2017, maybe. That might have been when we adopted Flow. I've got all this stuff as notes, and like I recorded the interview with the engineer that did the refactor. It was basically one dude that did the entire like Flow to TypeScript conversion, which is really cool. And for the most part, he was able to you make a change and you wait like 20 seconds for Flow to check the entire code base to then tell you if you forgot like a question mark dot, like safe navigation operator or something. And now with TS, it's like instant. Now, keep in mind that we were on an older version of Flow, and that could have been part of why it was so slow, but the amount of effort to upgrade from the version of Flow we were on to a version after it to then a version after that, and the amount of bugs and issues that were created because of how they changed how Flow works in general, we may have been able to get some speed updates, but the time and effort to do that would have been just as much as just switching to TypeScript. and hence why we're on TypeScript now. I don't think we use Tailwind. No, the code base is way too old to introduce something like Tailwind. And you actually lose the benefit of something like Tailwind, right? I mean, not like the only benefit, but one of the major benefits of Tailwind is being able to tree shake away any of the classes you're not using via CSS purge, right? Because it's a desktop application, the size of the CSS file doesn't matter that much. I haven't looked and seen what the getkraken.dev interface is built with. But I'm also not sure how much I can say about that stuff. I don't think it would be a big deal to say whether we use Tailwind or not. I haven't looked, so I just don't know. Yeah, you're not fetching the file over the network, right? For over-the-air updates, maybe it would help. I don't know. That one's a little trickier. But real quick, let me shout out some more follows. Netherborn, Sodafu, and The Fool Monty. I like that name. That's a solid name. That's well done. That was well done. All right, so if we look at this, though, we do see currency label coins going over the wire. And yeah, no worries, Liminal. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, it's fine, Tyrell. Like, you know. Yeah, so coins and suffixed here. We send over the wire, but then on the response back, we do see coins and suffixed. But then when we fetch... Oh, hold on. Oh, that's for fetching the user. Yeah, and then here, it's the old value again. And yeah, what's up, FD? How you doing? All right, so let's try this again. Welcome back, Mekwa. How you doing? Waltr uses Tailwind. Wait, what are we getting a 401 for? What's up, config? I feel like you've forgotten plain CSS. I mean, I feel like Tailwind keeps. I feel like Tailwind keeps you like aware of like the CSS you're doing. Like you may forget some of the property names or anything. Sure. But that's easy enough to just look up again. And Dirty Derps. I like that name. Welcome. How you doing? And yeah, hold on. So you're saying down here, this 401 error. Oh, no. Hold on. Never mind. This 401's actually fine. What we're actually checking is, right, all three of these errors happening in parallel. We're checking to see if there's a user error or, right, if there's a business by user error and then business by API key. So basically the API key that you send over in a header would also be possibly used for auth. This is just us checking either, and if both come back as errors, then we know that the user is not authenticated with this specific business. So then it would be a 401. So this right here is just us checking for the API key header and it not being present. But we still just want to like possibly throw the error later. So yeah, that was me just spacing on it. So yeah, this is totally fine. And in fact, we don't need to be logging this anymore. I think I was doing that to debug an error previously. So that's not our problem right now. But we should just fix it in our middleware, just because we don't need that noise. Like, I know I'm going to forget about it again in the future. So let's just fix it in the middleware. No problem. Easy peasy. And that was that log, and we should be good now. And yeah, box sizing, border box. Here's the thing. You should be using some kind of reset or predicate or whatever you want to call it that does those things for you, right? Like the basic like aligns your Safari to Firefox to Chrome like defaults. And box sizing border box should almost always be a part of that. So at that point, like, you know, if you're using a proper CSS reset, you shouldn't actually need to memorize box sizing border box anymore anyway. So yeah, my stack is like a homegrown wrapper around a thing called Architect. Architect is basically a way of scaffolding AWS Lambda, DynamoDB, and API Gateway, and a bunch of other things for AWS stuff. Yeah, no worries. My homegrown wrapper is where like this middleware stuff comes in. Fairly recently released project management software that was way too much pointless busy work. Do you mean Jira? You mean Jira, right? You mean all of them? Ooh. Worse than Jira. Is Robotic Head out there? I was about to make a joke. The joke doesn't actually land if he isn't here. I know a lot of people are really into linear, but I thought linear's entire point was to eliminate a lot of the busy work. Linear's like the most recent project management tool I know of. Oh, Asana. Yes, I've heard some possibly negative things about Asana. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, here's the thing, like Asana isn't that recent. I remember Asana being like somewhat popular back when Meteor was actually still a thing, or like when Meteor was popular. But I guess in terms of project management tools, that's still somewhat new. Utrack I really like. Man, at a previous company I worked at, Utrack had some really, really good integrations. Like in a way that like stuff was automated really well. Asana is Atlassian too? Asana would have been an acquisition. Asana was not always Atlassian. I don't think Asana is Atlassian either, though. Yeah, Asana's still its own company, as far as I know. Like, you might be thinking of the fact that Atlassian acquired Trello. Trello is now Atlassian. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Asana is still independent, but I could be wrong. Yeah, there's like way too much overlap between Asana and Atlassian, right? Like, yeah, like Jira and Asana are like direct competitors with major overlap. No, no, it's fine, Larobi. Yeah, it's all right. It's easy to mix that stuff up. And I think it's really easy to like mix up. I know they did an acquisition, but forgetting which company they acquired. Sure. I mean, Mr. Demon Wolf, Trello is still like a thing. Trello still works just as it ever did. Atlassian didn't do anything to mess up Trello. Trello still works great. Like Trello didn't go away. They didn't buy Trello to kill it. They bought Trello because it solves a niche that, you can get going in Jira, but it's a lot more like heavy lifting. Right? You can get a proper like Kanban board style thing, but it's not as useful, right? Or it's not like the same kind of usage. So yeah, Trello is still very much just its own thing. Exactly, right? And I think that's very smart of them. If they had messed up Trello, they would not be looked upon favorably by a lot of people. I don't think anyone would mind if they deleted Asana after an acquisition, but if they messed up Trello after an acquisition, people would hate Atlassian. Your corporate Jira setup doesn't allow devs to move tasks into code review column. Nobody from the management knows and wants to change it, so you always have to ask QA, SMPO to move your tasks because you can't do it. Would really, like, you should have Jira wired up to Git in a way that moves it to that column for you, and then you're done. Like, that'd be way better. Right? And I will point out, GitKraken does have Git integration or Jira. I will also point out that I have no idea what its capabilities are. But this is something that we maintain at GitKraken. I think this is actually like our biggest moneymaker. I don't know, I'm guessing, but like this has like so many installed seats and everything. Like, yeah, get integration for Jira is massive. And man, hey, thank you, HTTP. Appreciate that. Who got hit? Who got slapped by the gifted sub hammer? So Eugene, Array of Hope, Jaren, Sergeant Pepper, and Keto. Hell yeah. Easy dodge. I mean, there's a lot of people here right now. Another 3 to 4 years for someone to do it. No, that does make sense, Zekis. And I don't know if Get Integration for Jira specifically tries to do that part. I don't know. We got rated by Defy Us All, who got rated by the Primogen. And Hype Train. Hell yeah, thanks. Larobi, thank you for the sub. Or the gifted sub. Aww. Giving one to Akiza. Couldn't dodge that one. Mac Attack, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Thanks, Larobi. Paying it forward. So yeah, there's something up here because we see both values coming back as we expected them, right? The update. Let me try this. We'll do just another fetch. And man, Super Maven nailing it with that one. No, so GitKraken Desktop does way more than just GitHub, right? Like number one, GitKraken works not only for GitHub, it works for GitLab, Bitbucket, Azure DevOps, right? But it also integrates with like issue trackers and stuff too. It aims to do a lot more than just what GitHub Desktop does. Now, do you need that? I don't know. I'm not a salesperson. I'm just a developer advocate. If you have specific pain points about GitHub Desktop not doing stuff you need, well, we can chat and see if GitKraken does any of that. I will point out, like, if you watch me use Git, I use the command line most of the time anyway, right? But then I'll use Git Lens for all sorts of stuff, right? Like this inline blame. Git Lens is also a product that GitKraken publishes. And yeah, Code Drift, thanks for the cheer. Appreciate you. Xcrap, thanks for the refollow, or did you just never follow? Yeah, exactly, Mr. Demon Wolf. Because we think, like, you know, the stuff that costs us money is actually, like, the cloud features. And we can just combine those, you know? Oh, no worries, Xcrap. I thought you did at one point and then it disappeared, so, yeah, no worries. Yeah, so Snow Day, that's one of the big things. So we call it the commit graph. Our commit graph does start to look a little similar to what VS Code is shipping now. I think maybe GitHub Desktop might have a commit graph as well, but ours is also like searchable and interactable in a pretty cool way. And as far as I know, none of the other commit graphs actually have like the level of search that we have. So there's a little bit to that, you know. An extract. Yeah, no worries, man. Oh, you like them? Yeah, I'm really proud of this one. Like, I didn't make it myself, but yeah, just integrating it. It's really fun, and it fits the music pretty well. Maybe not this song specifically. Yeah, Nori Snow Day. I would say, give it a shot. If you have any feedback you want to share about Get Kraken, let me know. We can always hop on a call. Yeah, let me do something here. Ooh, there you go. Let me get more music going while we're waiting. A referral link? Nah. I get paid anyway. We're good. Used to have some issues that you had with it, but they were fixed. All right, cool. But yeah, let's boom. All right. So yeah, this graph. This is one of like the cooler bits. Yeah, making sure you guys can see all of it. I've got it zoomed in a bit much. Eh. Nah. I'm good on it. I think it's fine. They know I talk about it whenever I get a chance. But let me do one thing here. Get checkout main. Oh. That's my fork. Yeah, let's bring down theirs. Because I did a shallow fork. Jujutsu? I don't know what that is. A little bit of Ray of Hope. Like, that's more than just what it does. But for the most part, yeah, it's about metadata for your project. Oh, yeah, hold on. Let me do this into a new one. Yeah, never heard of it. No idea. I should definitely check it out here in a second. Just let me do this real quick. Because, yeah, I just wanted to showcase the graph. So basically, with the graph, you can end up seeing kind of like how the branches like merge and relate to each other, things like that, right? How they get forked off, who made what. I think the search is one of the most important parts. So if we do AI, hold on, let's do open AI. There we go. All right, so being able to like search through and find all of these like different commits, nice and easy. You know, kind of cool. I think one of my favorite features is a thing called Launchpad. I don't know if I have this set up in a way that you're going to get much from it. Yeah, so we'd have to like do a bunch of connection stuff. So less relevant here, but you know, I think it's fine for now. Not the best demo in the world. I just don't have this machine set up as a good demo environment. That's on me. I'm not going to go through that process right now, though. So this is its own thing. Now, we basically only support Git. The Git backend uses libgit2, which our project does too. But yeah, I just think they have a separate goal. So yeah, we don't currently support Jujutsu. Like basically, if you wanted to make it work, you might be able to alias the JJ to Git and then just use like local Git. So in like Git Kraken desktop here, you can go to settings, experimental, and then you can actually define, wait, is it no longer experiment? Oh, Git executable, right? So you can do the one that we ship with, or you can do the one that is native to your system. So theoretically, if you aliased Git, see, I don't know if it would even work that way. Because right now it looks like it's probably going to reference like that exact path. If it is something that you would want to like, you know, hey, I want to use JJ, it might be worth it to hop on a call at some point and we can like discuss and understand it more. But if you want to just like contact us instead, you can do that too. I am curious about how we could maybe make it work. I'm not going to dig into it too deeply right now here on stream though. But yeah. Like I think one of your questions you might have that you just email about is like, well, how would I set up my own extra like executable, right? Like if I wanted to set a path. And if that's something you would want to do that you just can't find a way around after you start fiddling with it, just let me know and I can submit it as some feedback. In fact, I'll leave it as some feedback right now. Yeah, no worries. I think it's definitely worth submitting as some feedback real quick. So let me just do that. Yeah, yeah. You like the music? Hell yeah. You know what I like? Making myself a beverage. And real quick, hold on. Let me go use the restroom. One moment. Sorry. It'll just take a sec. I'm back. There's some dancing. And hold on. You're thinking about the AI commits. Just adding support for Olama would be great. So config. Again, right? You were the one that asked about being able to configure a local path, right? You should be able to do that via something like LM Studio. Right? But if you're talking about like a direct path to call Olama like via like CLI, that's way outside of scope. Like that would require way too much code changes. Whereas like just hitting a compatible like REST API should be somewhat doable. All right, let's do the Basil Hayton. How about that one? And I'm pretty sure that was you, right, Config? Right, we discussed the fact that for some custom APIs, you would need to pass headers and stuff like that. And that's fine. As long as they maintain open API compatibility, then you should be able to direct edit. But you wouldn't be able to pass headers. Not yet. I get it and I understand that, but it needs to be open API compatible or it requires way too many code changes to our code base. If Ollama doesn't support the Open API specification for OpenAI, you can use LM Studio to mimic it. And LM Studio allows you to use Ollama. Yeah, I think anything that isn't OpenAI compatible API is outside of scope. Sorry. They got way too many other things they want to work on instead. All right, so let's test what we're doing here. All right, so something here is wrong. And the port is 8000. Something just doesn't feel right here. All right, so hold on. We'll do this. We'll do partition key begins with a value that we see right there. And that works. There's no way that should be coming back empty. What was the name of the thing that we were using to query before? I thought it started with a D. I could be wrong. It was definitely like a dynamo thing. Hmm. Yeah, this was it. So yeah, how was I running it? Ah, that's right. We did it via PNPX. And we already have that running. Partition key string begins with Oh. Oh. Wait, we have two of them. With the same partition key. And that would be it. So the one that we're updating what? Yeah, I see that. The reason that would be is that created at isn't being passed. It's because of the way the update works. It's doing an upsert. That seems like a flaw in Calatrava, my wrapper. So here in Query Creator, we do an update request. In the data wrapper, when we go to do an update, we're doing datastore.update. And what up, DaVinci Dev? How you doing? Or maybe it's DaVince Dev. Is your name Vince? Right? Because it's not the I, it's the E. That would be like, I don't know. I think that would be kind of clever, right? But yeah. How do I pronounce your name? Just let me know. How you doing? What you up to? And I missed another follow a while back. Izan Moto. It is DaVince Dev, right? Oh, I love that. Hell yeah, dude. That is clever. I like that. Good job on the name. Making sure I'm not unplugging my computer's Ethernet or something. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this album. Let's get one going. Let's do something crunchier, yeah? Or hold on, wait. Since Prime rated Defy Us All and Defy Us All rated us, we should play one of Prime's favorite albums, right? Right, the Malibu Tiger album. We should definitely do that. Give me a sec. Let me find it. Yeah, Prime Dance. It's also the Primogen, if you just say his name. Where's that Malibu Tiger album? Here it is. Malibu Waves by Laser Tiger. That's it. That's it. I don't know if it's this specific song. I think it's actually one of the ones after this. Definitely this album, though. So yeah, we discovered what our bug is. I believe the fix is we have the balance coming through on the request. We actually want to then just do this. Because we're validating the request that the user sends us. No. Here's my theory. Because the body is actually a patch, it doesn't have the sort keys like created at value. We're only patching modified at and only other stuff that the user can modify. So what that means is that the user can only modify, hold on, let me see if we can, oh, wrong button. Right? If we look at the schema, these are the only values a user can modify. You'll notice that created at is not in there. And that's what the undefined here in our sort key is referencing, right? The date that the balance was created. You'll notice that tertiary key is not being updated, which is also somewhat problematic. So what I'm wondering now is, if we do this, well, we can just try it, right? My thought currently is that we just need to spread the current balance into our update, like object, I guess. I don't know. There was a better word, just not finding it right now. If we do that, then we patch the body on top of that object, and then we do our modified at. Are we going to have an issue with the tertiary key? Because balance should not have that tertiary key as a value because we're doing an omit to remove it. So now what I'm wondering is, are we going to get an undefined value for tertiary key right here? And if so, then there's stuff we can do to fix it. It's just a little annoying. Because these keys are never going to change over the lifetime of the object. So we can definitely make it work. I'm just curious if I have to do so. Like if that value is omit, is it going to override it with an undefined value? And it shouldn't. But now I need to double check that. So this is my current theory of what will actually fix this. So now if we go modify, edit, right, we got the value there. We click save. Will it blend? It did not blend. But here's my question now. What value got updated? And yeah, what you're seeing here with the speed of that query is exactly the problem with why we want to avoid a scan entirely, because scans are actually really slow because they have to scan the entire like table. All right, so hold on. Let's try this again with a different value. So it's a flaw in how we do our update. Even when we pass the value we think we need, our data wrapper is not passing what we actually need. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Maybe it's a flaw in our middleware. Like, is that created at value getting scrubbed? Because in Dynamo, your entity is not just the partition key, it's the combination of your partition key and your sort key. So if we're passing the wrong sort key somewhere, such as our created at value not being correct, we're updating the wrong row. That's our problem. Okay. So let's go look at that middleware. And that middleware should be good. So Gustavo, what is a quota? Well, here's a good example. Let me just go look at the Vercel docs. Vercel pricing. So right here, you might see that Vercel has 100 gigabytes per month, or 10 gigabytes per month of various things, or 1 million requests per month. These are quotas. So it's basically an amount that you're allowed to do based upon the tier that you're on. And if you go over that, they will give you a little bit of leeway maybe, but at some point, if you're consistently over that, they will force you or at least heavily encourage you to switch to the paid tier. So on the free tier, you have a quota of 1 million requests to the edge per month. Whereas if you pay them $20 a month, well then, you get 10 million per month. But you go over and they charge you $2, right? For the next million after that. So it's basically a quota management system is however much you want to give someone for free, and then you want to bill them for something over that. Or if you can't do the billing part, you just want to cut off their access. So config, this is DynamoDB. It is not SQL. Exactly, Gustavo. Yes, the billing plan is the collection of all of these quotas tied to how much you're paying per month. That is the plan. The quota itself is each individual thing within it. Exactly. So yeah, I think you get it. Yep. Good question though, Gustavo. Like, yeah, great question. And yes, I want to create a service that abstracts out the maintenance and measurement of these quotas so that if you want to spin up your own hosting provider or software as a service, you don't have to waste time actually setting this part up, especially for visualizing and seeing some of that stuff in a dashboard somewhere. Now, right now, we don't have any good visualization of this stuff, but you get the gist. So yeah, let me find my middleware here. So if we look at get by ID, are we doing any scrubbing of the created at or modified at? Oh, I don't even see get by ID. We just, okay. So get by ID is basically an alias to get all by ID. And then get all by ID is defined right here in our omit keys function. It should not actually be scrubbing that. So the created at and modified at values not being there is actually a problem. Oh, and we got a bug right here. Oh, God. Pretty sure I know the issue. Let me just double check here, right? When we create a new one of these, created at and modified at are there. But in our dev fixtures endpoint, present them. No, definitely no way to debug or step through this. This is part of our fixture data, right? This is something we generate to seed the database. Our fixture data does not have the type safety we would really, really, really want from this. Now, part of that is maybe because our balance type doesn't have that defined either. So now we need to go look at every single instance of create, right? Cool. Cool. Accounts don't have it either. So here's the problem. It never would have been a bug in production because all of our, well, I mean, we should probably double check it. All of our create endpoints define a created at and a modified at. Should go through and double check that. A default for columns? Not that I know of, because Dynamo doesn't have a schema. Dynamo is a NoSQL database. Right? The only part of the schema that Dynamo cares about is the keys that you defined. That you define based upon like partition and sort key. That's the only part of the schema that Dynamo will actually like check. So yes, skill issue. Skill issue. We are doing created at, modified at for that, for transactions. We are doing it for payments as well. We are doing it for quotas and their usage, as well as we are not doing it for the account quota. Let me double check it for the balance now, because I forgot there was like one other step. Okay, so what I actually want to do now is we need to reset the database and double check that we can get this going from, you know, how we care about it. So we do a reset. We do an up. We'll just restart the server just to be sure. And then from here, we want to do fixtures scaffold. God, I really, really like this shader in the background. That's nice. So yeah, basically we now see a bunch of stuff running here. We start creating usage for accounts. We need to refresh. That should log us out. Okay, so we're not overloading the DB just yet. And now we are overloading the backend. Oh, all right. Not that bad, though. We'll see if it makes it through before this expires. I don't think it did. And yeah, it's a bit of a slow seeding process. I'm not a fan of that. There's definitely something we could do better. But I bet I could do this. And then we can let this part finish. And then, yeah, we aren't going to have that many transactions. But we should have enough data to start fiddling with it just to double check if what we just did works. At which point, I think I can undo a bunch of stuff. This is being put into a queue. Yeah, so DynamoDB local has like a throughput limit, basically. And we were running into that throughput limit by queuing up too much stuff at once. Real DynamoDB does not have that problem, but DynamoDB local does. Why DynamoDB? Because it's cheap and it scales to 0. And it will scale pretty much infinitely. Not infinitely, but for the scope that I have, I'll be able to write so much data that for me to spin up a database that would be able to handle the same concurrency, it would cost a lot of money. All right, so there we go. Number 12 here looks like it's going pretty quick, so we might be finishing up. And we're basically spinning up like thousands of actual like records into the database. You're seeing like 12 or 13, but we're doing a bunch of like smaller transactions and things for each account here. Like, you know, what we were looking at over here is we had, it doesn't say here. We had something like 17,000 records. So yeah, spinning up these 17,000 records, it would be nice to be able to spin it up from like a, you know, like a local database file, and that is doable. But then we're dealing with hard-coded data in a way that doesn't expose possible like issues, right? So having randomized data allows us to uncover other issues that we wouldn't necessarily catch if we were hard coding things. So the slowness of this seeding process is something I'm willing to put up with because we've especially like abstracted away a bunch of the problems. It does look like we queued up a lot of these, so that's fun. But yeah, we had to do the queue system to get around like timeout issues. I have no idea. Never used Azure for that stuff. My guess is Azure Tables is a direct analog for DynamoDB, but I'm not positive. I have no idea. Azure Service Bus is probably an analog for SQS. Blob Storage is probably an analog for S3. No, Blob Storage would be a different thing, right? Well, I mean, when they say Blob Storage, do they mean object storage? If so, that's an analog for S3 then. Yeah, so I would guess that tables is basically the DynamoDB equivalent. How they compare, I have no idea. It's not a concern because the tool I'm using doesn't support Azure. All right, so another thing we could do is we could just kill the API. And then spin it back up again because we have enough data in the database to do what we need. So Gustavo, you ask why Dynamo. I think the best way, if you're truly curious about the use case for Dynamo, is to check out the DynamoDB white paper. And there was like maybe this article. Here we go. So this one breaks down the white paper. I will paste it over to YouTube for you. Oh, I pasted it to our chat. Hold on, let me paste it to YouTube chat for you. So yeah, basically, Dynamo is about scaling, right? Trying to scale to a level that Amazon.com needed to scale to. Yeah, Magoo, Dynamo is NoSQL with very high throughput due to the way they partition things. To get that same partitioning with something like Mongo would involve someone who is an expert with Mongo, basically. Meanwhile, Dynamo just does it. So yeah, right, here we go. About 70% of operations were the key value kind in their database storage. Right? Where only a primary key was used and a single row would be returned. About 20% would return a set of rows but still operate on only a single table. In that case, 90% of operations weren't using a join of any kind. So Dynamo is basically like the grandfather of the entire NoSQL movement. Not entirely, right? I'm sure there was some other stuff that existed. But as far as how we know and think about scalability and databases, yeah, Dynamo inspired Cassandra, which was a Facebook thing, right? It inspired basically everything. Yeah, I don't know when Redis actually began. Maybe Omar. Yeah, for sure. Like Cassandra was inspired by it. But yeah, so the initial release of Redis was 2009. So no, Dynamo was absolutely the inspiration for Redis. Right? Like think about that. The Dynamo papers from 2004. Before that, pretty much every database was some kind of SQL. Not all of them, right? But man, like the common case was just some random kind of SQL. CouchDB? CouchDB around 2005. So yeah, CouchDB could have been heavily influenced by the Dynamo paper as well. I don't know. Well, keep in mind there, Larobi, DynamoDB as a service on AWS was not available in 2012. So Redis at least preempted your ability to like self-host something, right? CouchDB actually kind of beat that. But CouchDB was document oriented, whereas Dynamo was more like key value store. I would still kind of wonder, like, let's find the Wikipedia for CouchDB, because, like, our database stuff is still running. We'll just let it run for now. XML databases in the early 2000s? Okay. Interesting. Like, in, like, more of a document store kind of way? Oh, so CouchDB was initially the internal storage for Lotus nodes? Interesting. Okay. I did not know that. So yeah, no, it does look like CouchDB basically kind of evolved on its own internally, without any inspiration from Dynamo. I did not realize that. I didn't realize CouchDB was actually that old. Yep, yeah, PouchDB and like the local first approach is really interesting. And the fact that like PouchDB has existed for that long is kind of crazy. Couldn't, wouldn't. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Probably shouldn't either. Boom. I don't know. I thought that was just kind of funny. But yeah, interesting. Yeah. CouchDB is really CouchDB is actually the godfather of document databases then. Which is interesting. I like how they have relax right there in the the logo. That's funny. 1 second, meme trap. Okay, cool. So we got far enough. 44 accounts. That is more than I expected, actually. But let's actually try this out. All right, so we're able to get logged in. We're able to go to balances, and then let's go and edit the balance, and we will call it coins. Make it a suffix. Save it. And we get there. All right. So then let me just double check this within the balances update endpoint. I don't think we need to spread the entire balance anymore. And I doubt we need to refetch it. I don't think we actually need the omit keys. Double check that loads. Yep. So now we go edit. All right, so that was our issue. Yep. We actually scaffolded data without the created at and updated at. All right. So, do we end up needing to go through and fix all of that right now? I don't think so, but I do want to commit some of these changes we made. Oh, and we did end up doing like a major refactor of all that. Yeah, so app.arc is what we'll do there. It's a thing called architect. So it's basically a wrapper around like AWS Lambda, API Gateway, Dynamo, and a bunch of other stuff that allows us to scaffold these things out in a really, really easy way. I do have my own wrapper on top of it that I called Calatrava, who is a famous architect. Somewhat, somewhat controversial architect. But yeah, I built my own wrapper around it called Calatrava, and basically Calatrava adds things like middleware. It also adds things like this at route decorator, which is a no-op at runtime, but at build time I can use an AST crawling tool and grab this data and turn it into my OpenAPI spec. I also created my own wrapper around DynamoDB for like ORM-like things. Less ORM and more like query builder. But yeah, so I had to build out a bunch of stuff on top of it, which is the main reason I haven't migrated to something like SST. Because my get shit done wrapper on top of architect is very architect specific. That was Basil Hayden, which is a bourbon. I've definitely been overdoing the bourbon. Trying to maybe not get shit-faced on stream for a little bit. But, no such thing as virtue without temptation. So my goal is to force myself to cut down while not forcing myself to abstain. I actually consider abstinence the easy part. If I can cut down while still consuming, I find more value in that. I'll be more proud of myself. And yeah, like most of the overconsumption has just been holiday stuff. No. It's actually, I don't give a shit, personally. And then also, it does kind of help call out people that just aren't that fun to chat with, if I'm being honest. Right? Someone who can't let go or just simply accept that people want to pick whatever font they want are people that aren't going to be that fun to talk to anyway. And yeah, technically it's Dorama Sans. It's just Comic Sans with ligatures. Oop. But yeah, there is definitely something to the effect of the font and, the goofy part of my editor being a bit of a filter. It does help filter out people that just aren't fun to talk to. Not saying that's you specifically yet. Depends on how adamant you are about other people's font choice. Yeah, there's definitely something to be said. This font is maybe not 100%, but often reported by people with dyslexia to be easier to read than a lot of other fonts programmers might prefer. Right? The I and the lowercase l are distinctly different. Right? The P and the Q, lowercased, are distinctly different. The G doesn't do the weird curly Q thing that makes it hard to tell where like the connector is. There's a lot of stuff about these letters that are actually far more legible than fonts that you would technically prefer for aesthetics. You know one place that messes up the I and the L thing? Twitch. Even though the font may be more aesthetically pleasing, it is actually less readable. And I actually prefer readability over pretty much anything, especially when writing code. In my opinion, the most important thing about code you write is its readability over performance. I would rather see more readable code over code that optimizes for a couple cycles, unless you actually identify that you're on the hot path. In many cases, you can have performant readable code at the same time. And that makes sense. I want to point out, and this is one of my favorite jokes to make, so bear with me, that you don't actually need monospacing in your editor, right? Because the spaces are all the same, right? Like, you know, that's the same amount of spaces here as the line above it, so the spaces are fine. There's only one place where you might run into that issue. And that would be something like, you know, const foo equals some object, right? And then you do like balance ID there, created at, and then you go and do some junk like lining up the colons, right? And here, yeah, my colons don't line up. But you know what? Caring about colons lining up is something that only the bad guy from the Human Centipede should care about. Are you the doctor from the Human Centipede? If not, then you shouldn't care about lining up colons, okay? And yes, that's a long setup for that joke, but I like it. No, it's not the definition of monospace, Larobi, right? Monospace, the definition is every character is the same width. There you go, Heg. Yeah. Now, monospace is every character occupies the same amount of space. However, I was setting up a joke, man. But yeah, the only place where monospacing truly matters is your command line. And that's only because of how they set a bunch of that stuff up. In your text editor, I don't think it matters. I really don't. Now, if you're using a command line text editor, well, then maybe it does. I don't know. I haven't really messed with it. I don't know. All right. I do want to get to a point where all this stuff is a little bit better too. Oh, I forgot to add the app.arc. That should have been actually added previously. And real quick, hold on. Yeah, Meme Trap, thank you for the follow. Devinstev, thank you for the follow. Chad, Abellador, and Kaiser, thank you for the follows. Welcome, everyone. And yeah, Meme Trap. I hope you don't take offense at the joke I was making about filtering out the people who care too much about font. You'd be surprised how effective it is, though. Not to mean that you were one of them, but maybe 40% of the people that comment on it. Right? Like, your name is actually very appropriate. That filter is basically a meme trap. No, and I understand, Omar. Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah, you're welcome. Like, it's free. It's just, I just used Comic Sans to make the ligatures. That's all. Ooh, it's about time for gaming here soon. Let me double check with the Wednesday night wrecking crew. I do notice that the two people I'm trying to game with don't even seem to be online right now. Oh, all right. One of them's ready. It just shows him offline for some reason. There you go, meme trap. Okay, cool. I didn't scare you off too much, at least. Yeah, I try not to do the get add dot. But I don't want to go nearly as far as like the interactive like add or whatever it is, or it's like git commit something. Because yeah, if you do the -am, you don't need to do the add dot as well. Rashid, so we're using Ghosty. Part of the stuff we did for our holiday stream was we added some shaders to the Ghosty shaders library. One of the ones we added was fireworks, right? Because it was New Year's, so good and fun. We actually did another as well for the fireworks. This one does like a little rocket flying up, which is kind of fun. The one you see is called Night Drive, which is pretty cool. It's like, you're driving through the streets when it's rainy and you have astigmatism. Actually, no, astigmatism would be like the star pattern. So, slightly different. This would be you're unable to focus farther than your windshield. If you're driving and it looks like this, you probably shouldn't be driving. Another fun one we did was this one. And yeah, I might switch to this one here soon. What, for my terminal? Not at all. Hadi, I have a job. I'm a developer advocate. Have you heard about Get Kraken? That's fine. You wouldn't be the first one there, Hadi. But yeah, Rashid, no, I don't find an animation in my background of my editor to be distracting. I don't find when I'm typing like the, much solid technology stuff. I don't find that annoying. None of it bothers me. I use Git Lens, right? So this right here where you're seeing... Hold on. Oh, wait. Did we crash it? There we go. I use Git Kraken's Git Lens in a lot of cases. I still use Git, from the CLI myself. And yeah, dude, this is their holiday gift. It's a really nice hoodie. It's a really good print. I'm into it. But yeah, so config, I would definitely benefit from it more if I was working on open source that had a lot more people contributing, or if I was on a team that did code, right? The team I'm on at work is the product marketing department, and I'm the only coder on that team. So because of that, Like there's little value to me using the things that are actually like really like team focused. Now, keep in mind, I would love to get it to where our product marketing team starts using something like Obsidian that we could commit to a repo, right? For certain types of planning and stuff like that. I would love to make us actually dog food, like get cracking in a better way, right? For like the team collaboration features and stuff. As a developer advocate, yeah, like I need to discuss and chat about the product with actual devs. I don't know about this. Well, I mean, here's the song right there. Track 16 is the current one. The one we heard before it was track 15. So, you know, you can head to that link and see what number 15 was. But yeah, developer advocacy is actually a broad term, and it kind of depends. In some organizations, a developer advocate is focused on just like writing blog posts. In other organizations, they may be focused more on video content, like I am. In other organizations, they may be more focused on documentation or the community and organizing events and speaking at conferences. Developer advocacy or DevRel, like developer relations or developer experience, are all kind of under the same umbrella, and what we do to enhance those things changes from company to company. You will rarely have one developer advocate or DevRel check all the boxes of what makes up DevRel and developer advocacy. It's rare, right? There might be someone out there that checks all those boxes, but for the most part, you'll find people who are focused more on docs. You'll find people who are focused more on video content. You'll find people who are focused more on whatever, right? So dev advocate, DevRel, no, it's not sales. It is actually specifically not sales because devs don't like being sold to. And none of my target metrics for me as a dev are based on sales. Sure, we rate how the company is doing. So that's where it gets tricky config, right? There's a big difference between marketing and product marketing. I am currently under the product marketing category where I am focused on, video content, such as showcasing how to use some new features and blah, blah, blah. At other organizations, if you're a DevRel who's focused on documentation, would you consider that marketing? No. It's documentation. It's its own thing. At the end of the day, it depends on the company more than it depends on the title. In my current job, I am in the product marketing team, and my goal is to create video content, but in a very specific way. I can make video content and talk about the product from an actual dev's perspective. Everyone else on my team, they're not developers. Right? So I can still, I can bring feedback from devs by talking to y'all, by organizing calls with y'all. The developer advocate instead of the product marketer is the person that's actually more closely integrated with the developers. But you are right in the fact that you're not going to have a developer advocate or dev relations team or whatever at a company that is not targeting devs as their core target market, right? Our target customer at GetKraken is devs. So we need someone to speak the dev language that has experience as a dev, that understands what devs actually kind of need and care about. GetKraken desktop is React, TypeScript now. It used to be Flow, and Electron. Pretty easy. GetLens is open source. You can go look. It's TypeScript. Our web app is probably React and TypeScript. I haven't even looked. But Yeah, this is a great hoodie. We need to figure out who we go raid because I want to go play some games with James and Wormbane. So who's streaming right now that we should go raid? Oh, Acorn. Yeah, we definitely owe Acorn a raid. Oh, wait. Is Acorn gaming right now? Okay, no. They're coding. Yeah. Yeah, you may see some PoE2 over on Acorn's stream. But, yeah, not a big deal. Right? She's mainly coding. And she's a very, very good coder, so you may enjoy the content. Yeah, we got some stuff done. I'm glad we identified what my bug was. I'm glad we were able to figure it out. And yeah, thank you for the follows, everyone that was a new follow today. I stream like 5 days a week, so I'll see you again soon. No big deal. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even kidding. I was on the fence, like, you know what? Maybe I don't need to game tonight, but it's been a bit. I haven't gamed with James and Worm for a while, so yeah, let's go play some, probably Baldur's Gate 3, but just depending, maybe we hop into PoE 2. I don't know. Probably BG3, because we want to finish that shit. We're so close to the end, like, it would be a shame to not finish it. There you go. That's a solid amount. Fortnite for sure. Fork knife. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so everyone on the YouTube, thanks for hanging out. We had a good stream today. Later, YouTube, I will see y'all tomorrow on the